Our next bout is the next quarterfinal pro boxing bout in the King of Sparta Featherweight division. Out of the red corner, A'keem Bashir.
Well, this next fight you should know a little bit about.
A'keem Bashir, I mean, what an athletic individual, and I'm super excited to see him, step in this boxing ring.
And Tywan Claxton, you know about.
I do. I trained with Tywan, and being predominantly a wrestler, he's really working super diligently on his striking, and he has a world-class knockout in Bellator, and we're hoping to bring it in this boxing ring.
Out of the blue corner, Tywan Claxton.
When you talk about Tywan, I was playing golf with Justin Gaethje the other day, and that was the fight he was interested in. He had a wedding today, but he said if he would, he would be here because he wanted to see how he does in this. He's really looking forward to seeing his outcome. I think you can see the quality of the 8 fighters so far. I mean, it's been no disappointment. We told you this was going to be a good one with the quality of opponents. And when you get AJ Robb out of the tournament early, you know that you've got some great people fighting.
No kidding. No kidding on that. Claxton looking like a bundle of energy. You can barely get him to stop bouncing around to apply the Vaseline.
Again, it's such a different discipline that, you know, we don't see a lot of knockouts. We did with Jacoby. When Jacoby was in the heavyweight, we saw him get knockouts in the boxing portion.
True.
And move on. It's a little bit harder for the lighter weight guys to get that done.
All right, our tail on the tape. A'keem Bashir, 35 years old versus the younger Claxton at 30. They're even in height. They're even in weight. Pro boxing debut, pro kickboxing debut for Bashir. A little bit of experience in pro MMA with 5 fights at 3-2. And also pro boxing and kickboxing debut for Claxton, and a 6-3 record. Lists himself as a tactician versus Bashir, who is balanced.
I like the combination balance technician. How's that?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our next quarterfinal in the professional King of Sparta Featherweight division. Boxing scheduled for 4 3-minute rounds. Introducing first, fighting out of the King of Beers Budweiser red corner. He's a balanced style fighter, standing 5 foot 9 inches tall. He weighed in at 144.8 pounds. With American Top Team Atlanta from College Park, Georgia, A'keem the Dream Bashir. Fighting out of the Estrella Helico blue corner, he is a tactician-style fighter, standing 5 foot 9 inches tall. He weighed in at 144.8 pounds. With Elevation Fight Team from Denver, Colorado, Tywan Claxton. Referee Tim Mills.
Mr. Mills, first time.
Okay, gentlemen, I gave you
tonight.
instructions earlier tonight. Fight clean and fair and protect yourself at all times. Questions out of the blue corner, red corner. Touch gloves, gentlemen. Let's fight.
Boy, have you noticed in this featherweight division, the height of these fighters? I mean, you look at even Yusuf Zalal, even there's some height at this featherweight.
Started off, both men are southpaws, and both men are coming from an MMA background. Interesting seeing how they do in this boxing round.
Yeah, they both are intent on throwing. That's for sure.
Tywan landing a strong power jab.
Combination 1-2. Oh, hits him with the left hand. Bashir kind of inching forward, trying to find his range, but Claxton doing a great job.
Yeah, that left hand scored very well.
Claxton doing a good job of staying in good position. You can tell where his head's at in these combinations, where A'keem is leaning backwards and unfortunately getting caught up in those combinations.
You know, the other thing I'm looking at too is where the eyes of both fighters are, because as a MMA mixed martial artist, you have to look, you're looking for feet, you're looking for everything here. You got to really focus on the upper torso of what your opponent is doing here.
Right. I'm not a huge fan of how Bashir is leaning backwards. That's where he's getting caught by this lead hook of Claxton.
Makes it more difficult to bring your punches forward as you're leaning away as well.
Agreed.
Less power. And it changes the distance. Less advantageous.
Well, your power is not going to be, if you're leaning back and punching too, it's certainly not going to help. Claxton catches him with the left.
And Claxton exactly the opposite, leading forward with his shoulders. Good power in his punches. Tywan caught him as he was stepping in.
I mean, both men being southpaws in this close stance and in a boxing round, whoever is winning this jab is going to be winning this round.
And put something off that jab. You know, follow that up with some combinations. Tywan's got him a little backed off right now, so Bashir really trying to find out where he's going to score at, and then because he's been backed off this first part of the round. 58 seconds left.
Good shell for Claxton, and man, he's really doing really well in this boxing round. Coming from a wrestling background, doesn't look like he's never stepped into a boxing ring before.
Agreed.
Well, you know, he gets some pretty good fighters, that Elevation Fight team. There's a combination again, a 1-2. That second left landed. Big hook that missed, but it was close. The left counted though. Bashir kind of stalking forward, took one right on the lower mandible on the right side. Check that, make it left side of his jaw.
I was going to say the other right.
The other right. Yeah, it was a right hand by Tywan.
Bashir trying to change stances.
Yeah, Bashir to me feels awkward. There's an awkward feel to I don't know if it's his footwork, his whole body work, like it's not coming together.
Right. I think the theme of that entire round was the knowledge of range, knowing where you are and where you can punch. And I think Claxton had a better idea of where he could land these punches and where he can avoid Bashir's. Where Bashir was really trying to struggle out figuring out where he was at.
And you talked about the wrestling background of Claxton. That whole sport is predicated on range, knowing where you are in relation to your opponent's body. And we see it here. Claxton pressuring forward with his shoulders, Bashir up taller and even leaning backward at times.
Right. And it's really hard to kind of just maintain your range when you're leaning backwards and letting your opponent dictate the range.
And the dynamics of your punch is you throw your punch, you're having to try to move your whole torso and change everything about the angle of your body and your shoulders, and it slows things down a little bit. And Todd, I think that might be where some of what you were talking about just looks like it's a little bit off.
Well, let's see if he corrects that in round two.
All right.
2 of 4.
A'keem coming out in an orthodox stance. He heard something from his corner and making a large adjustment. But now back to southpaw.
Tywan coming out throwing nice body shot.
Landed solidly in his combinations early as Claxton.
Claxton's got some power on his punches.
And he's doing a good job of this clinch fight and this keeping in his shell. Man, he's really finding a home in this boxing setting.
See if there was a clash of heads there. It looked like it to me a little bit. See if anybody starts to welt up or bleed here.
A couple big right hands, that is. Jerry, you can definitely see the power difference in these two fighters so far.
And again, it's like we've talked about. I mean, we're kind of repeating ourselves here, at least I am. But trying to lean back and throw a punch going forward, you're just taking away from your own power.
Oh!
Big shot.
That's it.
End
Claxton with the KO.
Wow.
Highlight film. Wow.
I think it all came from the knowledge of range, knowing where you're at and staying in good position.
Boy, if you want to advance to the next round of a tournament, that's the way to do it. Makes everybody in the back watching have to sort of take a second look too.
Wow. I can't wait to look at this replay because he caught him perfectly with the pressure.
Well, we had talked about how he was being pretty masterful in his range, and that's exactly what it was. Moving his feet forward with his punches, close the distance, bang, right on the button.
There it is, a big clubbing overhand right. Sent him down to the ground, and it sends
Claxton was a good job.
Claxton forward.
he was stepping in his shell and really causing that pattern. And then this time he came out with a combination which found a home for it.
Pretty nice shot for a wrestler.
Here, I think Claxton was getting scolded for stepping in with a shell because it was looking like a headbutt.
Yeah.
But really, he was just setting up with just stepping forward, and then he found a combination off of that forward step.
There it is, just a clubbing overhand right
Wow,
that caught him.
Yep, just right on the end of the jaw, spun the head around.
And Bashir on his feet, and I mean, we like to see guys
of course. Glad
being
to
able to
see
stand
that.
on their own 2 feet.
All right, let's take it up to Stewie for the official time.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Tim Mills calls a stop to this bout 1 minute, 8 seconds into the second round, declaring your winner by knockout, Tywan Claxton!
A lot of hard work paid off right there.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, and training for it like this, it's got to help become a more well-rounded fighter because you're obviously training on your other aspects to get there, but this is the most difficult part, I think, this step.
Right. Boxing is so different, and so I like to see Tywan just really turning over from wrestling to boxing.